Good evening, everyone. I'm going to try to rip through this one a little bit faster this time because there's a lot of questions. Question number 1 for part 2 of the video series. Does Mr. Cinnabon sleep with you every night? He sleeps with me almost every night. Pretty much. Look at make a little triangle, buddy. Yeah. Does Cinnabon ever get into bad moods with you? I kind of touched on this in the previous video in this series. A little bit, not really. If he's in a bad mood or is upset about something, it's extremely short-lived. A while ago, you said you were not a cat person. Well, obviously you are. How did Cinnabon change your mind about cats? What's funny is I recently watched a video where they had people that... I never really didn't like cats. I just wasn't a cat person. But I watched a video with several people who didn't even seem to like them. Some of them were couples, some were just people by themselves. And they were somehow were given a cat for a week or two as a trial period, and all of them ended up just absolutely loving the cats, which I thought was really cool. That's kind of like what happened to me just over a longer period of time. As I would hang out with him more, I realized what helped is this Cinnabon is very dog-like in some ways, and I was used to dogs, so it kind of worked out well that way. So it was a gradual process. I like cats more than dogs now because they're a little bit easier to take care of, and they're very relaxed. Why is Alex still single? Alex, you are quite a catch. Why hasn't some sweet girl caught you yet? Cinnabon needs a mom. That's really funny. Thank you. Well, as people would say, just haven't found the right woman yet, right? Cinnabon's like, what are you talking about? Ever thought about trying laser pointers with them? Oh yeah, we've done it before. I don't do it a whole lot. I think it can cause problems. They sort of get addicted to it because they can't quite catch it. So I think it can be a problem. So I don't get it out a whole lot, but I have before. Every once in a while. There's maybe 3 or 4 videos that show it. Are those Temptations treats? Yes. Does he have a favorite flavor or flavor he doesn't like? Not that I know of. He seems to like them all. The most recent ones I bought were like the jumbo, little bit fatter ones. He seems to like them all though. Can you move the new cat house closer to his bowl so he has a better view of the outside? I may do that. It's over there. I don't want to put it behind that chair because then if someone's over, they're going to always have to slide it over. But he can have a pretty decent view as it is. But I may get another one and put it upstairs in my room, as suggested by my mom, which I think is a good idea. So maybe for next Christmas, we'll get him another cat tree. Who takes care of Cinnabon when you go on vacation? Typically my parents come over and take care of him. I usually don't leave very often. I don't like vacations. If I do, they're usually staycations. Can you please give Cinnabon a kiss on the head right between his ears? Okay. Right, little buddy. What cat breed is Cinnabon? Cinnabon, according to the vet, is a long-haired domestic. I've had a lot of people suggest that he is also part Maine Coon or Norwegian Forest Cat, and I agree that he is, at least part. Not full, though. I've seen full Maine Coons. Big difference. Literally, they're like twice the weight of him, size. What do you think Cinnabon's kill count is? Several, probably hundreds of different small animals. Does Cinnabon have large talons? Yes, he does. Let's check out these bad boys. Look at these claws. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to bother you too much, though. Yeah. He has very large claws, don't you? Yeah. You talk about being very busy and gone a lot. What is your field, broadly defined? IT, information technology. In which way has Cinnabon enriched your life? It's a good question. Definitely given me a little bit more purpose, more things to do, occupy time a little bit more, all in a positive way. Give me a better appreciation towards kitty cats too, and animals in general, I suppose. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What does the vet think about Cinnabon? Is there any pedigree in the gorgeous chap? Oh, I don't hear people talk that way. You must be from Great Britain or something. They said he was healthy. They liked him. They thought he was a cute cat. Any pedigree? I'm assuming that's his background, his genetics. Not really. I have no idea other than what I've already said about his breed. Where did you get Cinnabon's Christmas wrapping paper with the cats on? I bought that about a year ago. I think that was from referring to that. About a year ago. It was either Meijer or Walmart. Meijer's mostly Midwest, I believe. This question is kind of random, but I've seen some of your vids where you showed the woods surrounding your house at night. Have you had any interesting or creepy stuff happen at night? The worst or weirdest thing was probably at least once a year, I hear something like scream outside, like terrifying. I think it's cats fighting or a rabbit getting caught or something. I don't really know. That's probably the worst. It sounds like a little pig being murdered slowly. It's terrible. And when I go and check outside, I don't really see anything. I've also had Cinnabon chase things away before. It's kind of weird. And of course, Cinnabon likes to climb trees in strange times back there as well, as you've seen before. Would you ever do a kind of meet and greet with Cinnabon? Probably not. Cinnabon doesn't travel well. He's a cat. They don't really like to travel, so I don't think I would ever do anything like that. It would be cool. My brother's done that for his channel. If I did, I wouldn't probably be able to bring Cinnabon, although everyone would want to see him. And I'm not about to invite a bunch of people over to my house. What goals do you have for yourself? Maybe Cinnabon as well. Cinnabon, I just want to extend his life as long as reasonable and as possible. And for myself, I'll pretty much just want to have a nice, comfortable life. You know, security, both, physical and financial security is nice. And eventually I'd like to have a family as well. Cinnabon is neutered, but would you ever consider cloning him or getting some sort of artificial insemination process if the technology was somehow available to you at a low cost or for a low cost? Yeah, I thought about cloning. It'd be pretty interesting when, God forbid Cinnabon passes away. It would be interesting to look into that, but I think from what I recall, cloning is extremely expensive, and morally, there's some questions on it, but it would be pretty cool to clone a pet. I'm sure a lot of people have thought about it. Obviously, more than genetics, and animals and people are shaped by experiences a lot of times too, so it wouldn't really be the same. It's sort of like a twin. If they're raised in separate environments, they're going to be different. Outside of your mom, dad, and brother, is Cinnabon friendly at all with strangers, or is he shy and afraid of different people? I've kind of touched on this before. He's a little bit shy at first, but typically he warms up pretty quickly to people. If there's a huge party, like 30 people or whatever here, he'll typically stay away for a little bit, and then he'll watch from afar and come over in short bursts. I noticed you have a lot of HKs, Heckler and Koch. What other brands do you like? Does Cinnabon stay outside the whole time you're gone at work, or does he stay snuggled up warm waiting for Papa? The last question I kind of answered already. Some days he's in, some days he's out, and usually when I get back in here, he's relaxing or sitting in the main level, kind of waiting for me. He hears me probably open the garage door or something. As far as weapons, other brands, I like Ruger. I have a Ruger pistol. My brother's a big Ruger guy. I really like AKs, so as far as manufacturer goes, they're all over the place. There's really the only good ones are non-American. Of course, there's a couple American ones that specialize in making AKs as close as they can to the communist specs, the factories that size the cities that make the weapons. My favorite would probably be Zastava. As far as Zastava goes, I would prefer the state-funded one more than the current commercial one, just because state-funded ones put out a little bit better products. They would probably argue that, but when you have an unlimited budget, things go a little bit better, don't they? I also like Colt and FN. How much weight has Cinnabon gained since you found him? It's really impossible for me to tell without guessing, because he looked thin before. I can't tell you the weight. How much has he gained? He looked really skinny. I wouldn't be surprised if he gained 5 pounds. Well, that wouldn't make sense, because he's 10 pounds now. I don't know. At least a couple pounds. I'm just guessing, though. A vet maybe might be able to answer better, seeing the older photos, which some of you probably are vets. And I'm not talking about the ones that just read one article online and say I shouldn't give them vaccinations. Would you like getting a small pappy friend for Cinnabon? Pappy? I don't know if you meant puppy. But no, I've touched on this before. I don't think Cinnabon would enjoy having another pet here unless it was like a fish or a turtle that he didn't have to interact with. Would you consider adding more cameras to get different footage, or trail cameras outside? What we see now is great, though. Well, thank you. Yeah, I think so. Eventually I may want to do that. It'd be interesting to see what's outside as opposed to just inside. Is Cinnabon your first cat? Yes. How many pets, cats, dogs, or any other house pets have you had before Cinnabon? Growing up, we had, with my parents' brother, German Shepherds, several German Shepherds. Never a cat, though. What else? Fish, hermit crabs, smaller things like turtles, hamsters, and the like. Look, he's tired. Have you ever attempted to give Cinnabon a bath? No. Cats are self-cleaning, as I mentioned in previous videos. Not so far in this video, I don't think. And clip his nails? No, I don't clip his nails because he uses those to fight and climb trees. So it's a defensive mechanism. And he's not destructive, and he uses them enough outside and inside, and his designated areas to where they shouldn't be a problem. What is your most favorite memory of Cinnabon's early months with you? Wow, even like the first couple of days I noticed him, my earliest memories are him window peeping, staring in the window, and also staring at fireflies in the yard, walking through the yard. And there was a certain time of year where there's tons of fireflies out here. It's really cool. He was staring at those. I thought that was funny, watching him watch the fireflies. Does he ever get in fights over territory with other outside or feral cats? As far as I know, yes. I don't know for sure, but he tends to react negatively when I've seen him around other cats. So I would assume yes, he probably does. Does Cinnabon still go in his outdoor house, and have you ever found other animals in it? I haven't seen Cinnabon in there in a while. I have though, a little bit. If it's bad weather and if I'm not around to let him in, sometimes I'll see him out there, or typically he'd probably get out before I'd even come through the front door. But yes, and sometimes when I get home late, I'll just walk around the back of the house and just find him out there and pet him on the deck. It's kind of fun. I have found other animals. I think I've seen a raccoon go in there and out real quick, but I had to get a possum out of there once before Cinnabon would come inside regularly. There was a possum in there and I had to evict it. Any interesting young lady getting your attention in Michigan? That would be sweet. You're such a jackpot. Well, thank you so much. Right now, no, not that I know of. Or not really. On Animal Planet, a guy named Jackson Galaxy has a series of videos that help out cats that are not doing well in people's homes. He's so informative. Okay, lots of information here. They basically want me to watch it and wonder if I can do a review on it. And they suggest putting structures in the house for Cinnabon to run around. And they also suggest that because Cinnabon climbs trees, he may be implying that he wants a higher structure in the house. Very well could be. I don't know. This kind of brings up another point. I get a lot of links and videos, and I really don't have time to watch any of them, so I probably won't do anything like that. A lot of people assume I love cat videos, and I do, but I simply just don't have time to watch them all because I live in this, and I just simply don't have time to do that. But thank you. And I'm not going to redesign my house. If the black cat came meowing outside in your porch, would you let her in? Yeah, probably. There's another black cat I let in, but it was somebody else's cat. I just wanted to pet it or whatever. But the other one that comes over, it's a neighbor cat, or she's a neighbor cat, so she doesn't need any help. Can you do more catnip videos? Yeah, I could. I might. What's your favorite type of dog? Mutts, German Shepherds, Labs, Toto type dogs? I like most dogs, with a few exceptions. German Shepherds are my top favorite. I love German Shepherds. Is Cinnabon a Norwegian forest cat? A girl at my work sent me photos of a couple that look just like Cinnabon, maybe a little bit furrier. So Cinnabon is probably a mixed fight, I guess. So possibly, I don't know for sure. Does Cinnabon like other people, or is he pretty shy? Touching this before, he's a little shy, but not as bad as I've seen other cats. Actually, he's one of the most social cats I've ever really ever seen. Would you cook for Cinnabon? Yes, I have before. I can do that again. I have some salmon I need to cook up. Cats usually hunt, play, eat, bathe, and sleep in that order. Your videos portray eat then play. Does Cinnabon prefer that, or is it just editing? I don't really edit. Most of the stuff I edit is done in order. I've never really thought about that. He pretty much is always eating a little bit here and there. He doesn't really have designated eat times. In the morning, he usually eats. He eats at night and throughout the day. It's pretty much a mix. I don't think he really cares before the other. If he eats a lot of wet food, I try to discourage too much play right after because I don't want him to throw up. But I don't really pay attention to that, I guess. Have you ever seen a snake around your house? Yes. The only snakes I've seen around here, garter snakes, and I think it was a hognose. It looked a little bit like a rattlesnake, but I don't think it was. The hognose snakes around here look like that. Rattlesnakes are very rare in Michigan, but we do have them. The Mosasaga or something. Our childhood cat in Sweden brought an alive snake into our house. I can still hear my mom screaming. That's funny. Wow, that would be terrible. I have never seen Cinnabon mess with a snake. I don't remember ever a snake being around like next to him, but I would be curious to see how he'd react to it. Unbelievable. 50K that fast. Will you need staff and assistants to handle all the extra? Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Actually, a girl at work said that she would love to be on the Cinnabon staffing team. So, I don't think so, but you never know. What about getting a cat companion for Cinnabon? I've touched at that. No, probably not. Oh, and did you ever figure out what was going on in the incident when he ran outside and bolted up a tree in the middle of the night? No, I don't think we'll ever know for sure. I can only guess. Question, why do you bend over when standing at the top of the stairs? You are going to fall over, stop it. You do it every video. Huh, yeah, I don't know. I never thought of that. I guess I'm just accident prone, even though I haven't fallen down those stairs. I've fallen down every other stairs, but I don't know. I guess I'm well balanced. I never thought of it as an issue. I've never fallen in that way. I'm always, typically if I fall around Cinnabon, it's because I'm walking down the steps and he gets in the way. I don't step on him, but thanks for your caring observation. How has your life changed since getting Cinnabon? I've kind of touched on this already. Have you learned any life lessons from being a cat dad? Yeah, maybe develop a little bit more compassion, I suppose. Probably, yeah. Do you ever regret saying I'm not a cat person? No, because it was true. Since you will never hear the end of that, no, I don't really mind. Whoa, look at that stretch. And would you consider reacting to the advances from the ladies in the comments? I'm not sure what you mean by reacting. Do you mean like responding to the comments? I only read maybe less than 10% of the comments, so as far as reacting, I can't go through all the comments and react to it. Sometimes I do reply to those such comments, but as far as reacting, like actually taking action on them, there's really not a whole lot I can do, even if I want to, because I mean, that's not, you don't really know anyone online, right? Not really, anyway. It's just a picture and a name and the words. So it's not like I'm at a bar and someone starts talking to me where you can actually do things. Yeah. Cinnabon the advisor. Do you prefer chonky Cinnabon or her thin boy form? That's funny. Definitely chonky. What was it, mealtime, buddy? All right, we'll take a break. He's a tired cat. Oh, okay. We only have time for a few more questions in this number 2. We're gonna have a lot of parts of this. I just know it. Anyway, can we get some variations on the videos? The content is always playing on the stairs. That's not totally true. I've had people complain about that before. A lot of it is, but that's where Cinnabon likes to go. I explain this a lot. Maybe we can see videos of him playing in the bathroom. Yeah, I've done a little bit of that. Or playing in the closet, or playing in the playroom, playing in the bazooka, blah, blah, blah. I've pretty much done most of that. Maybe it just, he seems to gravitate towards the stairs more than anywhere. Maybe it's just, there have been variations, but there's like 7 videos ahead that I haven't posted yet that maybe, you guys haven't seen, of course. So, but yeah, I mean, I try, but I mean, it's mostly on Cinnabon. I mean, I could try to force him to play something else, but for the sake of variety, I'm not going to do that. Okay, we can do a couple more. What's Cinnabon's favorite time of day? I don't know. He I guess going back to the cranky, he does seem cranky before bed. Like I think he wants to play, but he doesn't. He just wants to snuggle and go to bed. Favorite time of day is probably all day. Oh, what a tired kitty. Interesting fact about yourself that we don't already know. A fact? Oh, a fact. I don't know. I'm not really sure. Interesting fact, I guess. I don't know. I don't think of personality stuff. I've mentioned before that I have a dark sense of humor that a lot of you would not like, but that's just kind of how I am. And some of you have caught on that also, have a dark sense of humor. I do certain things that I shouldn't think funny or take lightly. I do. You've caught glimpses of that before. That's just more personal. As far as facts, I can't think of anything that interesting, I guess. No. Supposedly it may be related to Jesse James. I can't think of anything else. What else? Interesting facts about myself that I haven't told. I don't know. I must not be that interesting. Or, yeah, you want to go outside, buddy? Okay. Well, this is an appropriate way to wrap up this video. All right. It's nice out. It's very warm. Yeah, it's very warm. Yeah. Guess I've never been outside the U.S., so I've been, Canadian water. That doesn't really count. Yeah, I don't have a passport. I'll probably get one eventually. I have a cool pen pal in Ireland. We send each other cool presents. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, we're going to end this one. We'll pick up later. I don't know when the next one will be. Probably the following day. I'll just kind of do them. Might take a week or so to get through everything. All right. Cinnabon, I think, wants to go out, or if you want something, we'll have to find out later. Anyway, we'll talk to y'all later, and have a good night.